Good evening, everyone. I am Amber Jensen, and I would like to explain an activity that I did working with one of my students. I don't really have a name for this activity. I'm not sure what to call it. But it was a card game, and what we did was I had a bunch of cards, and on half of these cards, I had word phrases. And on the other half, I had math problems. So, for like an example, one of the cards might say um, the sum of three and a number. So then the other card, the math problem, would be like n plus 3. And what we did was I would lay these cards out on the table, and I would have my students um, match them up. I would have them put the correct phrase with the correct math problem. Um, and the reason why I decided to do this with this individual was because his teacher noticed that his teacher and I both noticed that he doesn't like to stay focused, and he has a hard time sitting still on just working on a normal math problems and just sitting at his desk and doing paperwork. This was kind of he was able to not just do math on a worksheet, but to work with me on one-on-one, and we even tried a couple of things where he didn't just have to match it up, or I would say the math problem and then he would try to reword it in a math phrase. So we tried to have a little bit more fun with it. My student did pretty well with this activity. He seemed to like it a lot more than just sitting at his desk. He seemed to pay more attention to what we were doing than what everybody else was doing. He didn't really want he wanted to do this, and unlike when he does his homework where he just fidgets and we have to keep getting after him to stay on track. I think there's a couple things that I would have done differently. Mainly one would be being more prepared. I totally forgot that I was doing this activity with the student on this day, and I kind of left a couple things at home. So I had to hurry and make up a couple more note cards to play the game, and I kind of made things up on the spot, and I noticed that it would have been better if I was more prepared. For him and for me, I wouldn't have been so stressing and hoping that I was remembering everything, which was a couple of things I did forget. But in the long run, I think the activity still worked out pretty well. Like for my future classroom, when I do become a teacher, I think this game would be a great one, and even hiding the cards around the room where I would have them go find them, give them a word phrase, and then have them go find the math problem, or vice versa. That would keep them active a little bit more. And but I will say one thing that I will work on more for my future class will be being more prepared and making sure that I have everything that I need right then and there, and so it's better for my students, so they can get the education that they need and not have to worry that if I forgot something to teach them. And one thing that I can do that will allow this kid to go home and still practice these strategies is letting him take home the cards, having a set just for the classroom and having a set for him to take to home to work on these, and talking to the parents about what we did with the cards and seeing if they could hide it around the room and have him go find the correct words and match them up together. I think that would help him a little bit better, because then he will be a little active, and he's not just confined to sitting and doing more homework like he's been doing all day. Thank you. You guys all have a good day.